Hello and welcome to this late morning taste challenge. I'm getting it now. I only got 2 leftover days to make up, and then I'll have to do that again in a month. But anyway, I have 1984 until 1989 at least, 84 to 89. Seagram's Canadian Hunter, introduced by Seagram's in 1984. Aged 3 years, 80 proof, bottled in Maine. Produced in Canada, bottled in Maine. There's your proof of purchase, like they used to say in the 80s, in case you had to cut it out and mail it in for some kind of coupon. Anyway, mail-in rebate. But I bought this at International Market. This thing is so old, the gold on it is oxidized, starting to turn green. Can't see that on the camera, but if you were here in person, you'd notice that. A lot of glare. All right. Seagram's introduced this in 1984 as a Canadian whiskey for the 80s. What did they say on the old ads? A modern Canadian whiskey. I don't know. They never really explained what that meant. Probably didn't mean anything. But anyway, I guess it wasn't a huge hit. So along with a lot of other brands like Benchmark Bourbon, Dr. McGillicuddy's Fireball whiskey, which is now super popular, and with what else they sold? James Fox and like 15 other brands to Sazerac in 1989. Sazerac took this and transformed it into Canadian Hunter without the Seagram's name. Same logo type thing though. See, the Hunter, different, but basically the same. This is the modern version, Canadian Hunter with the famous bullet. Aged 3 years. Or does it say age 3 years? Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. Now, it doesn't say that on the old label. It's in the same Benchmark, McAfee's Benchmark, JT Boots. What other one? Ancient Age bottle. Ubiquitous Sazerac bottle, one of the 2 main ones. It says, we love to hear from our customers, bottled by Sazerac Company, Frankfort, Kentucky. But we know that is Buffalo Trace. But with certain brands, they don't use the Buffalo Trace name because they don't want you to know that. But anyway, that's another story for another time. We're keeping that Seagram's connection going, the Seagram's connection. So 1984. Now the competitor, Crown Royal Black in the black velvet bag. Now the Seagram's Canadian Hunter, I bought it at International Market. It was $7.99. Yes, $7.99, and it's gone now. They had a few bottles left. I knew it was the 1984 to 1989 configuration, so I said I better buy this historic bottle of whiskey, over 30 years old. But it's going down. All you got is the modern bottles, same price. Crown Royal Black, robust, full-body blended Canadian whiskey, introduced by Diageo in 2010. 2010. Distilled in Gimli, Manitoba. I made a mistake when I did my solo review. I'm going to rue the day I did that. I'm probably have Canadians reminding me every week. It's not Gimli, Ontario. It's Gimli, Manitoba. You say, well, what's the Seagram's connection? Well, the Seagram's connection is tenuous, but it's still a connection because Seagram's started Crown Royal in 1939. And they continued to own it, Seagram's Crown Royal, from 1939 to the year 2000, last year of the 20th century. At which point, Diageo bought the Seagram's line. And some other ones, not just the Seagram's Crown Royal, not just Crown Royal from Seagram's. They bought Crown Royal and a bunch of other stuff. And then Pernod Ricard bought the very famous Seagram's, popular Seagram's gin. And then Coca-Cola bought Seagram's ginger ale. So the ginger ale went to Coca-Cola, the gin and the Distiller's Reserve gin, the black and gold label, the really good one, went to Pernod Ricard, and the Crown Royal went to Diageo. And the Seagram's company went bye-bye, bye-bye. Okay. But if you do an internet search, or you go to these collectible sites where you can buy collectible old bottles, or you go to an estate sale, you may see an old Crown Royal bottle that says Seagram's Crown Royal. Same shape bottle. They just say Seagram's. Well, they don't exist anymore. But Diageo decided to drop the name and stop playing around like it was a real company. Okay, anyhow, 90 proof. Now, I think I'll be able to tell them apart, like I did this morning. CR, Crown Royal. Here's how you do a blind taste test alone. Put your labels at the bottom of the glasses, you pour the products, and you mix them up while you're not looking at them. You mix them up to an extent where you can't remember which is which. And if you're absent-minded like I am, it helps, because then you surely can't remember. So pour some of this. Put it over here. No spillage. Crown Royal. It's a very spill-prone bottle. It's irritating, let me tell you. You get the handle bottle, it's got the built-in pour, it does not spill. This one, it'll drive you madness. It's like you pour in this, you're singing to yourself, I can play with madness. Okay, but anyway, put that beautiful plastic cap back on. Price comparison. Okay, now look, the Seagram's is going to cost you $27 a bottle. Talking about the Seagram's black. Regular Seagram's about 23. So you're looking at $4 or $5 more per bottle. So let's say 27 bucks for the Seagram's black. What am I saying? Seagram's. I'm fixated on that. Oh my goodness. Crown Royal Black. Crown Royal Black will cost you about 27 bucks a bottle. $27 a bottle Crown Royal Black. Give or take a few dollars, but that's the average price. $27 per bottle. Like I just told you, the Seagram's Canadian Hunter, which no longer exists except in history or lingering bottles on the shelf, like I bought mine last year. It's been replaced by the modern 1989 to present Canadian Hunter. But this was $7.99. Now, what is the price? I mean, I cannot comment. You can't buy it technically unless you find old bottles lingering around, which is what I did. But you figure if the new one is $7.99, the old one, $8.99, $7.99. So $8 a bottle, $27 a bottle. Is it really going to be $19 better per bottle? Is it really going to be $19 better? Probably, but I'm not entirely confident that it will be, but I think it will be. Let's look at the appearance first. The Seagram's is very pale, very pale. The Canadian Hunter is so pale. It's aged 3 years, or it was aged 3 years in the 1980s, and I do not think they added any coloring to that. That looks like a blend of Canadian whiskeys, corn whiskey, rye whiskey, and barley malt whiskey, maybe wheat, and that was aged 3 years, either separately or together, but that's what you got, a pale gold. This, extra age, 90 proof, in charred oak. Could it be this dark in charred oak? Yeah, if they used fresh charred oak barrels, not used barrels, it could be, yes. If they aged it like 6 years, no problem. Now, if they aged it 3 years and they were aging it in used barrels from one of their other United States of America distilleries, ain't no way it's going to be that dark, and they added caramel coloring, which doesn't change the flavor because it's odorless and colorless, generally food coloring. Crown Royal Black is a great product, but for me, it's a bit pricey. It is a bit pricey, $27. But I had to buy it. You know what I mean? Like I just felt compelled. I must buy this. I must buy this. It's like Johnny Walker Black. You know, I'm going to have to buy it. Actually, never mind. I can get a $7.50 for $29.99. I thought it was more. Well, I got mine for $27.99. So you pay $2 more. Well, you know, it varies. Let's go. Because a lot of things that you can get for 25, maybe I have to pay 27 for. You know, I don't know what town you live in, but it flip-flops. We probably don't have grave differences in what we can find. Now, when you talk to the people in Canada, oh, wow, different story there. They might pay a good 40% more. You say, no, not that much. Oh, outrageous. Washington State, forget about it. Alabama, forget about it. My daughter lives in Alabama. She almost never buys liquor there. Why? It's outrageously high with the taxes. So she'll come to Louisiana on a visit or drive through Mississippi, I assume, and buy stuff for a reasonable price and then take it to Alabama. Man, if I lived in Mobile, no, wrong. I would never buy liquor in Alabama. I would just take a trip once a month or every 2 months, go to Pascagoula and get what I needed. Or contrary-wise, I'd go to Pensacola, about the same amount of time, and get my stuff at ABC or somewhere like that. I wouldn't play around with their ridiculous, outrageous, and insulting liquor prices. Alabama, y'all need to fix y'all's problem. Because I bought one bottle of whiskey, Club 400 American blended whiskey from Baltimore County, Maryland, Majestic Distilling, formerly known as Monumental Distilling. It was $3.99 for the $3.75, and when I got the final tax bill, the final, the total bill, I was totally outraged. I said, okay, I'll buy it, but it ain't never happening again, and it surely never did. Florida, yeah, sure, I'd buy liquor there, no problem. Mississippi, I do all the time. Louisiana, as you well know, Texas, no problem, unless it's Sunday, and you can't buy any liquor anywhere in Texas on Sunday. In Arkansas, you can't buy beer, wine, or liquor anywhere in the state on a Sunday. Well, that violates all the things I stand for, but people say, we don't care what you stand for. That's your own libertarian type thinking. We stand for heavy regulation, and we don't like freedom. We hate freedom, in fact. Okay, fair enough. Everybody's got their different ideology. No problem. The aroma is not exactly ebullient or whatever, exuberant. It's kind of measured, or let's say dialed back. Let's go over here. It's even more vacant. There's nothing here. I mean, there is, but there is practically nothing. The faintest little scintilla, that's kind of redundant, right? Because a scintilla is faintest in a little bit. But a scintilla of what you would say the aroma generally associated with whiskey, it's faint. Oh, so very faint. Makes me think it's that Seagram's Canadian Hunter. Spare us the Hunter. I'm going to go buy it. Oh, no. I'm going to go buy Blondie's 1982 album, The Hunter. No, I bet you I won't. All right. Hunter S. Thompson. All right. Anyway, let's do this. Spare us the Cutter. Okay, ha ha ha. Enough kidding aside. Enough fooling around. Enough kidding. I mean, enough kidding, not enough kidding aside. Hadn't even started tasting. This is clearly the Crown Royal Black because it is darker, more robust, more charred, and more everything. I'm not even going to taste this. I know it is. I know that's the black. I'm going to hold this up. It's going to be gold. Ha ha. How you feel, Played? All right. I can't brag too much, though, honestly, because I went against Crown Royal, Fine Deluxe, Fine Deluxe, and I got it wrong. Couldn't tell them apart. I went against the Bourbon Mash, got it wrong. Couldn't tell them apart. So I knew, or I hoped, let's say, once I started exploring the non-Crown Royal brands, I could do a better job. And I have gotten them right twice now. And I assume that's going to keep happening. I'm assuming Bama is a Baptist state, says King of the Dots. Gary, you got it. King, it's Baptist, Methodist, but the Methodists, they like drinking, but it's Southern Methodist and Church of Christ. So if the Catholics were in control, it would be different. I wonder if it's illegal to consume alcohol on a dry county, or is it just illegal to sell it? I don't know. It depends on the county. I think there's different laws for different counties. Eastern Kentucky was an old haunt of mine. But he meant of mine. If I had to tank up ahead of time because of several of the counties were dry, Letcher, Harlan, Texas can be a compromise to the religious. You just really can't buy it in a dry county. On the radio this week, they credited Blondie with the first white rap song. Right, the first rap song to go #1, actually. It was a white rap song, but it was the first rap song of any racial group to go #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1981. It was from the 1980 album, Auto American, which I happen to have first printing. But it did go #1, and it pretty much wrecked their career because people didn't take them seriously after that. And the next album that came out in '82, The Hunter, went nowhere fast, and the band broke up. And they never regained their popularity. But they were headed for a fall anyway because they had limited talent. Their drummer was very good, Clem Burke. Debbie Harry had the looks of a model because she actually was a model before she was a singer. But overall, I mean, they were always a second tier band. You know what I'm saying? They were not going to be at the top for too long. Sort of like Cheap Trick, but let me not make too many enemies while I'm doing this. Hunter Rye is the best bargain in the liquor world ever. Oh yeah, Hunter Rye. I forgot about Hunter Rye. Canadian Hunter Rye, 90 proof. Can't find it around here except in the little 100 milliliter bottles, which I'm not looking to buy. I want to get a regular size bottle of Hunter Rye to put into my rye taste challenges. That's a beauty. But of course, Sazerac makes sure nobody can get it because a lot of these liquor companies are mad and insane, and have I mentioned they lost their minds because they make their products unavailable. Good marketing strategy, right? Let's make really good stuff and make sure nobody can get it, and that'll really make us win. We'll be winning, like Tony and Elvira. Elvira, you want Elvira? You really sharp, Ron. I can't compete. Thank you. Most can't, but don't feel bad. Is it hot and humid yet in Louisiana? It was, and now it's cold, windy, and dry, like Bud Dry. It's drier than Bud Dry. All right. I can name a lot of second and third tier bands that never could have made it in the long haul, but it would make too many people angry. So I don't have to explain it. Just look at your rock and roll history. You'll see, you'll know, and listen to the albums. You'll say to yourself, it's really not top tier music, but it's nice. Sorry, folks, everybody can't be Led Zeppelin. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen to bourbon prices now that Europe is putting a 200% tax on it? I guess it'll go up in Europe. That's all marketing. I mean, that's all negotiating tactics, though. You know, they're doing that just so they can get the U.S. to counterattack, and then they'll have some big agreement, and then it'll all get lowered. You know how that works. And we've got this leader we have now who's gonna, oh yeah, never mind. Maybe it will be bad. All right, bring up Bud Dry, but it makes me sad. I really miss that beer. Jeep and Foodie Caleb says, I drank Bud Dry from 1996 until 2010 and went back to buy it at Mathern's. And I said, where's Bud Dry? The guy's like, I don't know. It hadn't been coming in. So I contacted the company. Oh, we discontinued it due to, what did they say? You know how these companies are, due to unfavorable sales performance or something like that. I was like, oh, great. When was Bud Dry discontinued? Yeah, 2010. You did miss out. It was good. And I used to get a 12-pack for $5.98. But of course, in 2010, I could get quite a number of 12 packs for $5.98. Miller High Life and so on. But they weren't as good as Bud Dry. No. That's why I bought the Bud Dry, because it was 5% alcohol and it was really good and I liked it and nobody else liked it. So it got discontinued. I remember the good old days when I could get Milwaukee's Best 12 packs for $3.99. I could get Falstaff 6-packs for $1.99. $1.99 for Falstaff 6-packs. In the old Bill Clinton days, you say, oh, here we go. You're taking up for Bill Clinton. I'm not taking up for Bill Clinton. I'm not taking up for any organized crime organizations. I'm just saying back in those days, I could get it for $1.99 for a 6-pack. Are there any beers you favor that are considered really dry? Really dry meaning the total opposite of sweetness, like ultra crisp. Really dry. Guess Asahi super dry, but I have trouble finding that these days. I never see it. I got to think of a question. I mean, Bud Dry is Bud Light. Bud Light. Bud Light introduced in 1982 as Budweiser Light. Bud Light's pretty dang dry. I mean, that's pretty much the quintessential dry beer. You drink Bud Light, you'd be getting thirsty. I got to think of a question to stump you, Ron. You're on a roll. I'm sure you'll think of one that'll work. Okay, take your best guess. How much money did the IRS refund in 2020? I don't know. $68 billion. I really don't know. I do know that the Police albums came out on IRS records. But it made sense because wasn't Stuart Copeland's brother the founder of IRS records, and didn't their father found the CIA? Like literally, he was like the chief operator of the OSS in World War II. Funny how all these rock bands have a curious and strange connection to military intelligence and naval intelligence, but why bring that up? Anyway, Michelob Dry was the top dry beer of its day. It sure was, and I like, 210 million. Okay, great. Michelob Dry. Oh, I have 2 bottles right there in the back. Michelob Original Lager isn't being discontinued in Missouri. No, it's not discontinued, just nobody can get. Maybe the word dry scared off consumers. I think it can. Yes, I agree with that. I think dry could confuse consumers because they're thinking dry, it's going to be bad, when really it just was crisp, it wasn't sweet. So when I drink Bud Dry and Michelob Dry and Asahi Dry and the Olympia Dry, I got a can right there to prove. I kept that can just to prove it because no one's going to believe it. They tried to make it look like an Asahi can. It's like a clear trademark infringement. Look at that. They even got the lines drawn on it to make it look like the Asahi aluminum can. Dry Olympia. I'm sure Asahi laughed it off and was like, ain't nobody going to buy that. And it was gone with the wind. I bought it in 1998 at Albertsons in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I saw that on the shelf. I said, woof, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I wish I had done video reviews back then. But of course, there was no YouTube in 1998. It was good, it was good. Olympia was good, but nobody bought Olympia. Olympia's discontinued, y'all. I hate to tell you. Isn't Olympia going out a bit? Yeah. No, it's gone. Pabst Brewing Company said they're getting rid of it. Of course, they still got to post it on their website like it still exists. But then, what do you expect? It's Pabst. They got websites that are so outdated. Oh man. Oh, y'all want to see? I'll show you real fast. And I'm going to eat lunch. I'm hungry. All right. Oh yeah. So when I first started doing these beer things, okay. So to finalize Crown Royal Black versus Canadian Hunter, Crown Royal Black is clearly distinguishable from Canadian Hunter, the old Seagram's version. But to be fair, and I like to be fair, I'm like Hyman Roth. I'm always accurate about my age. I think the 1984 to 1989 Seagram's Canadian Hunter was a really nice product. It was smooth, balanced, light, crisp, or if you want to say dry to go along with that vein. It was a really good product. There's only one little problem. People didn't care about it. I'm sure the sales were way lower than they had expected, but Seagram's was a company that was in sort of like a disintegration period at that point, 1984 to 2000, 16-year disintegration. So, hey, I'm glad I found it. That's all I can say. Now, the Crown Royal Black, I got one little sip left. It's distinguishable, but it's like the flip side. It's like not dry. It's very sweet, like blackstrap molasses. It's sort of a pancake syrup type approach, and it's fine. And I was talking about that in an earlier challenge, that you could almost fool somebody to make them think it's Bacardi Black. You say, you're crazy. That's whiskey. Bacardi Black is rum. Well, you ever tried to do that trick? But is it worth $19 more? That I don't think is the case that they gave me. So, moral of this totally moot point. I don't think the Crown Royal Black is $19 better than the Seagram's Canadian Hunter. Maybe it's $10 better, comma. But on the other hand, comma, it's irrelevant, comma, because Seagram's Canadian Hunter has been out of production for 32 years, so who even cares? Exactly. Now, when I started drinking beer in 1996, they had this on the market, Michelob Dry. And I say, well, and it's still got beer in it. This beer is from that year. You can hear it. I wouldn't dare drink it. It's been on my shelf for 25 years. But I saved the bottle because I said, one day this is going to be old. It's new now, but it's going to be old then. And look at the steel cap. It's so deteriorated. The steel bottle cap is so deteriorated. But it's got the shroud, so you can't open it and dump it and then recap it because you would tear the shroud. So you got to keep the beer in there. So I really liked the Michelob Dry. I thought it had an exceptional character. But then I'm only me. Then they came out with the new label around 1997 or 8, the more elegant label. Look at that. Pretty, huh? And it made no difference because people, I said, oh, I like this new label. I saw it at the grocery store. I said, this is a sharp new label. I got to buy it. I got to buy it. I got 20 lighters on the dresser. I got to get paid. So I bought this and I was thinking, now I can't wait for the next new label to come out. But of course, it never came out because Michelob Dry was discontinued. Because Anheuser-Busch has a really interesting marketing strategy. They say all the best products we make, we're going to discontinue them. We're only going to sell the inferior ones. Busch Signature Copper Lager, we're getting rid of that. Michelob Dry, we're getting rid of that. Michelob Classic Dark, we're getting rid of that. Now, the other stuff that's like kind of okay, we're keeping it because that's how you win in this world. I think to myself that is not necessarily the best idea. In my mind, you would keep the best products, maybe discontinue the ones that weren't as good. But what do I know from marketing? Okay, let's go to the comments and we out of ya. Beer, Barbecue, and Baseball did a review of recently released Bud Light Crisp. Yeah, I can't get that. If I do try it, I will watch everybody's video. I drank that Hurricane yesterday and the rest of my other beer. What I should get? Hurricane? To about the 6% of the high gravity. 8.1. I drank 1 can of Club Tales margarita and 1 tall can of Bud Ice and woke up with a headache. I'm confused as to why. Maybe it's all the sugar in those cocktail and a can drinks. Yeah, probably so. Probably that's the reason. Geary says Michelob Lager isn't in Ohio either. At least was the best beer around in the 80s. Yeah, I remember weekends are made for Michelob. When I was a kid, I thought, wow, one day I'll grow up and have a jacket with the patches and a sailboat, and I can go to the marina and drink Michelob and eat shrimp cocktail and be cool. But those dreams were smashed. Cheers, everyone, says JV. Cheers to you, JV. Again, what is dry supposed to mean? Ice or low hops? Gary, it means like crisp, not sweet, like totally crisp and succinct. It's hard to describe unless you've had a Michelob Dry or a Bud Dry or an Asahi Dry. Now, if you find Asahi Dry, you could experience that, but that's so rare these days, you probably won't be able to find it. They had Asahi Coronama, the black. Oh, I love that black lager. Oh, I loved it. I wanted to I wanted to drink it, but it disappeared. And then they had the Asahi Amber. I loved it. And then it was gone. But now you can't even find Asahi, so it's a joke. Anyway, let's forget about dry beers. Dry beers are a thing of the past. They're like British Hong Kong. They're gone. So dry is typically used in wine or beer. It's the opposite of sweet, says Kevin. Dry beer typically has an absence of an aftertaste. Right. It's dry. It's just like a quick drop off. It's like I'm saying that Bud Light is sort of like that. I believe Bud Light is like that. And probably Michelob Ultra. Well, that's sort of like an Anheuser-Busch thing. They're like, they got crisp beers. I mean, look at their website. Every time it's crisp. It's crisp. Well, but anyway, let's put that to bed because dry beer is gone and we will never pass this way again. So we're going to go on and on till the break of dawn. We're going to do Crown Royal Black and it could be days from now because of all the scheduling issues I have. But we'll do Crown Royal Black against, I guess I'll do the Canadian Hunter, the modern version, because it does have a tangential, TIAL, tangential relationship to Seagram's, but it's, tenuous. It's still a relationship since it was created by Seagram's. That's a pretty good relationship. All right. And then we'll be off and running along forward with all the Seagram's Canadian whiskeys that I have, and I have too many. Too many. That Canadian Hunter is such a cool looking bottle. Are you talking about this one? Yeah, but it's the same bottle design as Benchmark, McAfee's Benchmark, J.T. Boots, Jethro T. Boots, and Ancient Age, and probably a lot of others. Yeah, they came out with this bottle years ago, and I think they were trying to mimic Jack Daniels. And then Heaven Hill came out with one similar to this, trying to mimic Jack Daniels. So what Jack Daniels did was they changed their bottle to this more expensive sharp edge glass. And the other companies didn't want to pay for it. You know, they didn't want to pay for that sharp edge glass, so they just gave up on the attempt to try to fool nobody. You heard what I said? They gave up on the attempt to try to fool nobody into thinking that some off-brand was Jack Daniels. Like, why would you think that people would believe that? Yes, says Kevin Johnson. Okay, well, that's the one. So, and the Canadian Hunter Rye has that bottle also. And, there's many. All right, so thanks for watching. And I have to say that the Crown Royal Black is better, but with many things you'd have to consider with that. But I'm excited because look how much I have left. There's going to be a lot of interesting taste challenges coming up. Thanks for watching this video production.